My 26F husband's 30M best friend, 29M, just kissed me and I'm unsure of what to do. I am not the oop. Oop is you, butt knuckles. My 26F husband's 30M best friend, 29M, just kissed me and I'm unsure of what to do. Originally posted to our relationship advice. Trigger warning: sexual assault, predatory behavior, verbal abuse and threats. Less than. Original post July 16, 2023. I, 26F, am an immigrant that recently relocated to another country to be with my husband, 30M, after being long distance with him for several years. Needless to say, my husband is my best friend and I love him deeply. Because I've struggled making my own friends here, I am on friendly terms with my husband's friends. They are all for the most part decent people and welcomed me with open arms, which I am grateful for. We all occasionally hang out and it's never really been an issue. Recently, I began planning a surprise party for my husband's birthday and I figured I would reach out to his friends about planning to see if they wanted to help. Enter my husband's best friend Adam, 29M. Adam has been my husband's friend for about 10 years now. Adam is married with a wife of his own who I am friends with. Adam immediately was very supportive of my ideas and was insistent on helping. Many times he offered to drive me around the city to go to different stores since my husband and I don't have a car, which I would decline since I didn't want to cause him any hassle. He would offer to use his place of work as the location for the party. He works at a fancy restaurant. Again, I would decline because my husband isn't the type of person to enjoy birthday celebrations like that. But I would let him know I appreciated his kind offer and that I felt he was being a very kind and generous friend. He was fairly persistent, but I figured it was just because he wanted to make his friend's birthday memorable. Fast forward to this week. Adam texted me and told me he had his birthday gift for my husband, but he would need help loading it up in his car. I asked about what it was, but he just said a joke about how I would tell my husband, so I couldn't. No, I didn't think anything of it and agreed to help him today. We drove to the store, got the gift, wrapped, but it was big and heavy, and drove back. He put the car in park and as I started getting out, he reached out to me and kissed me. I was taken aback and immediately pulled away. I asked him what he was doing and he said that he thought I was cute and he wanted to shoot his shot. I asked him about my husband and he said that he didn't need to know. I was just overwhelmed and couldn't begin to wrap my mind around what was happening. He apologized and said he thought I was sending signals because of me saying he was a kind and generous person. He then said that my husband can't know about it because my husband would blame me and would divorce me. I'd have to go back to my home country, etc. I got out the car and just went inside. My husband was at work, so he doesn't know. I have a lot of conflicting feelings. I know I want to tell my husband because of how Adam went about this proves that he doesn't have my husband's best intentions in mind and is incredibly selfish. My issue arises in how to go about telling him. I am super upset about this whole thing because it's a weird place to be in. I doubt my husband won't believe me because we have a good trust in each other. But I am nervous as to how this will affect the relationship. I'm nervous he will redirect those feelings of betrayal towards me. If that's the case, would it be justified? I just need some guidance on how to approach this for minimal damage to my husband. I know it's bound to happen, but I obviously don't want to hurt him if I can. I appreciate any advice. Edit. I have seen everyone's comments saying to tell my husband the truth. I am planning on telling him when he gets home. However, there seems to be some confusion as to what I'm asking for here. I know I want to tell him, but I am unsure how to tell him without it having an effect on our relationship. My husband is a good man. But no one wants to be the bearer of bad news that their friend that they have known for years is an awful and manipulative person. I don't know how to breach the subject in a gentle way. I tend to let my emotions get the better of me. And this event has me thinking rather compulsively. I don't want to hurt my husband more than necessary. Any advice on how to tell him would be appreciated. Depending on what happens, I'll update when I can. Update July 23, 2023. Hi, everyone. It's been a doozy over the last few days. And my post wasn't really all that popular. But I figured I'd update for those that may be curious. Before I go into big details, I just wanted to say thank you for your advice. My husband came home a few days ago and I surprised him with his favorite meal. I had a day off and was a ball of nervous energy, so I had cleaned the house, did laundry, and cooked. Basically, I wanted the environment to be as stress-free as possible for my husband because I knew it was going to be hard on him. So, we sat down to eat and he had been able to tell lately that something's been bothering me and he asked me what was going on. So, I told my husband as gently as I could and he was understandably upset. Thankfully, Adam didn't get to him before I did and he believed me. I know a lot of people were worried about Adam telling my husband lies about what had actually happened before I was able to. But this didn't happen. Thankfully, he was really mad at Adam for kissing me, but especially mad at him threatening me with deportation. We talked it through and after a few hours, came to the conclusion that, in order to protect my residency, we would file a police report for assault against Adam. Thank you to those who suggested this. As we talked, Adam sent me a text message that said this: "Hey, I just wanted to check in on you to make sure you remembered what I said to you in my car yesterday. I really don't want you to go back to home country. I've also been thinking of you. Call me when you get this. We have things we need to talk about." Yeah, creepy stuff. Plus low-key threats. It had my husband seeing red and me feeling scared. So we went to the police station the same night I told him. They seemed freaked out by Adam's most recent text and agreed it seemed like a veiled threat. So I filed a police report and they are investigating. As other Redditors pointed out, I wasn't the only victim in this situation. The next day, I texted Adam's wife when I knew Adam was working to see if she wanted to meet up and she said sure. So, we met up and I told her what happened. I showed her the text and sadly, she didn't take it too well. It's understandable, but this is what I worried about. She seemed to think that I flirted with him. Called me a home wrecker. I know this was probably out of lashing out, but it still made me feel bad. Both for her and me for Adam putting us in this situation. It's sad I lost a friend. Shortly after I met with his wife, Adam started blowing up my phone, but I didn't answer. I assume his wife confronted him or the police called him. I'm not sure what set him off. He then sent me a bunch of texts that just got crazier and crazier to the point to where I didn't feel safe. So, I called my husband who was at work, and he told me that Adam was also blowing his phone up, too. We ended up calling the police because Adam was threatening to come to our apartment and do what he should have done when I was in his car. Satisfying ending. Sort of. He was detained by police for making what they deemed a credible threat against me. It's still an ongoing situation, and I'm a bit upset by how this whole thing essentially blew up. But at least my family and I are okay. The most important thing I'm focusing on is recognizing that what happened isn't my fault and that I am a victim here. Also, therapy going forward. Overall, this experience has shown me how quickly people can change once they don't get their way. If you had told me a week ago that Adam was a nice guy I would have laughed at you. As we went through Adam and I's very few interactions, my husband agreed that there wasn't any mixed signals. Adam had completely made it up in his head or, as some of you pointed out, was trying to take advantage of a woman in a vulnerable position. I am fortunate that I got the support and protection I needed. It's certainly a great way to start off a new life in a new country. That's for sure. Anyways, I wanted to say thanks for all the comments and support my last post got. My husband read the post and was thankful that I wasn't dealing with this situation by myself. Thanks, Internet. Also, shout out to my husband for literally handling this in the most amazing way. Lucky to have him. So give him some internet love. TL. Your husband's best friend turned out to be a crazed nice guy who was arrested for threatening me. Edit. Readability. Edit 2. I'm seeing some people saying negative things about Adam's wife. I feel it's important to remind Redditors that she is just as much a victim here as I am. Adam and her have been together for a lengthy period of time, and it makes sense that in her hurt, she would lash out on the person closest. Adam's wife was very kind to me and the first friend I made in the country. She would check in on me daily and invite me to meet her friends, cook food for me, help me find work, etc. She has never once been malicious towards me, and I see no reason to believe she will start now. And I hold no ill will to her either. In fact, I hope she is able to find peace, because she did not deserve what Adam did to her and their family. The only person in the situation that deserves your negativity is behind bars currently. Please be respectful to her, as she holds a place close to my heart. Relevant comments. Atyree. I remember your original post and have kept it open in a tab because I was worried about you. I'm so glad you're safe now. Adam never believed you were sending him signals. He is just a predator who used that lie to make you feel like you did something wrong. He used your vulnerability as an immigrant to threaten you and make you feel like you couldn't say no to his assault or report it to anyone. He was wrong. He didn't know you well enough to know you are too strong for that. He was too confident in his ability to intimidate you. He just saw you as an immigrant bride and likely thought your husband wasn't really in love with you because he thought your husband was like him. You probably aren't the first woman he has taken advantage of. He just got too cocky and made a really bad choice about his latest target. Hopefully your action has lessened the chances of finding another victim. Oop replied. That's so sweet. I knew people wanted updates and I didn't want to keep people worrying. It was a trying week, but we made it through stronger at the end. I'm very thankful I got the advice I did. Many commenters repeated what you said about Adam being a predator, and that thought never even occurred to me. Turns out, you guys might be right. I'll never believe anyone who says that outside perspective isn't necessary. This is a repost sub IAM, not the oop. Yeah, that was premeditated. He absolutely went for her because he thought she was vulnerable because of the citizen status. That text that came after with, "There are things that we need to talk about," and essentially, "It would be a shame if you had to go back to your home county," meant he was going to coerce her into sex and with the threat of deportation. Then when that didn't work and it all blew up in his face, just outright said he would rape her. I don't know if any of you have read The Gift of Fear, but it certainly seemed to follow that he had this big plan for when he got her. But before that wasn't planned out for her say no, and he just gets beyond pissed when she said no. They don't have plans for when you say no. They need to convince you to go with them to that second location and assume it will work, so they get really pissed when their plans aren't working out. Won't accept no. Is that red flag? Op absolutely did the right thing initially by telling her husband, and was able to protect herself because of it. Just how quickly Adam's mask dropped is insane. 10 years of friendship with OOP's husband. 10 years of hiding who he was. And then the manipulation and abusive messages. Crazy. I wonder how much Adam's wife has had to deal with throughout the years. Yo, Adam straight up sucks. In a slightly different reality, Adam would be trafficking Ukrainian teen girls into prostitution or hiring Filipinas to work at his mansion in Dubai and stealing their passports after saying them. I can't help but laugh that this joker actually thought that Oop calling him a kind and generous person was some kind of pickup line. I'm going to dare to get political with the following statement. Assuming this is in the US. This douche watched too much Carl Tuckerson and figured an immigrant was an easy target for exploitation. In this case sexual. Pathetic and, in my opinion, bigoted and un-American. A very scary situation, but I'm glad that Op and her husband got on top of it ASAP and went to the police ASAP. That said, I don't think the situation is anywhere close to being finished. Glad Oop and husband are safe and together. When I was little, my dad used to tell me that one of the worst things you could purposely do to someone was to ignore them. I later discovered another one is to expose them. Being seen for what you are irritates people to no limit. Adam sounds like a predator and potential criminal. The wife must surely feel betrayed but also scared for others' judgments. Oop showed her graceful character by defending her even when mistreated. It's perplexing the manipulation and blackmail tactics people with no moral compass resource to. In this case, love won. Well deserved. Adam's wife does not pass the vibe check. As an immigrant with limited or imperfect language skills, and often a lack of familiar friends, it is easy to feel unsure or nervous about using the wrong words or body language in social situations. Every country has different rules for personal space, eye contact, greetings, etc. Then there are the stereotypes. A lot of men think that all women from XXX country are flirtatious. Adam was taking advantage of her vulnerable situation and gaslighting her by suggesting she was sending out signals. Thankfully Oop is safe. Oop is so nice. So sweet and trusting. I remember when that bubble broke for me. Now I'm sweet and nice until the red flag pops up. Won't happen to me again. Always believe women until proven otherwise. I remember an ex-friend of mine with a woman that we both had a thing for. May the best man win kind of thing. Then he started telling me how much he hates her around the time I had something going with her. I figured they had some kind of argument or she had been harsh rejecting him or something and he wouldn't really tell me why. She asked me not to say anything to him, which I respected and thought was just because she valued her privacy and didn't want me to just brag like she was some kind of conquest. Then about a week in she says, I didn't want to say anything because I know you two are good friends. But it's too much now. He tried to call me over 99 times last night. He keeps saying he loves me and he won't give up on me. I've blocked him now. But he was getting really creepy in messages. I laughed at first because the idea was insane to me, but then asked if she was serious and she immediately started sending me screenshots. Maybe 20 in total of pure unhinged insanity from a guy that I thought was cool and never would have thought was capable of it. And yes, the messages got really bad. No threats. But he wouldn't stop saying the things he would do to her if she gave him a chance. And wouldn't stop. That sort of thing. I assured her that I don't want to be friends with anyone like that. She apologized for causing problems between us, so I explained that it's 100% on him and I'm glad. She showed me who he really is. Because I don't associate with people like that. I then asked if she minded if I confront him about it. At first she said no. This was all one conversation BTW. But then before long he made all the counts and started messaging on basically all of her socials and even Xbox Live. So she gave me the green light to have a word with him. I saw him log on to Xbox, so I messaged him there just saying, "Hey, dude." He invited me to a party and I was on the phone with her at the time. So I muted the phone but left it so that she could hear. I just gently explained that she and I had something going on, and that I had seen screenshots of the calls and messages, and alt accounts. Guy didn't say another word. He left the party, blocked me, and neither of us ever saw or heard from him again. We didn't live that close together, so it wasn't like he had to do much to avoid us. Both conversations happened before breakfast. Never in a million years did I think he was capable of that. And the guy didn't even have the balls to be asked about it. But like my first sentence says, always believe women. Hits BORU bingo with all the buzzwords like seeing red and blowing up phone. Adam is a truly disgusting excuse of a man. Glad Oop has her husband and really hope Adam's wife will start seeing what she married and take appropriate action. Is it bad that I think Adam's wife knew he was a creepy already? I'm not saying she's okay with it. And I'm not saying she's a creep also. Sometimes messed up stuff happens and the partner just goes with it even though it's wrong. But usually when creeps are married, their partner knows and they conveniently ignore what they do or make up excuses for them. Thankfully, the dude was just as stupid as he was violent. I mean, really. Bro told on himself before he covered his ass. Sad for Op and Adam wife, but also incredibly thankful he is thick as hell. This is why I have a hard time trusting men in general. I know not everyone is bad. Here OOP's husband is a good man. But how to know? Adam is a piece of garbage. I'm so glad the police took their reports seriously, unamused. 3 things come to mind while reading this. First, that she's extremely lucky her husband is a good man. There are many women who find themselves in this situation with zero protection or support. Secondly, I'm glad to hear Adam was arrested. There's almost no chance this is the first time he's done this. And I can't help but think of the other women left in his wake. And lastly, speaking entirely from speculation, I wouldn't be surprised if the wife blew up because this wasn't a surprise. I know people say men like this hide in plain sight, but they don't really. There's always little giveaways. There's always questionable behavior. And if there's anyone who sees it, it's their family. Just ask adults who were abused as children and they'll tell you how mom or dad were different people in public, even if she doesn't know about his rapey behavior. Which, on speculation alone, I doubt. I'd bet there were signs of cheating or that she'd caught him before.
Cool.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.